Act 4, The Wake, Chapter 23, The Wheel of Fortune. Someone should go after Clay at some point. We'll need his help. We don't have time to let ourselves fall apart right now. Easy for you to say, you weren't there. Caerlin's right. We'll have time to feel defeated once we're dead. Right now, all is not lost. Not yet. Sure, it's just a bit hard to buy this never give up expletive right now. If you know how to salvage all of this, feel free to share it with the class. I'm serious, I won't even roll my eyes at any heroic speeches right now. Yeah, I figured. So what, do you just want to give up? I don't know, Clay was right. It's getting pretty hard to see the point. That's exactly what got us into this mess to begin with. What? Your failure? No. This expletive ambivalence. Ha. I think you guys need to take a good hard look at reality. I don't like betting on losing horses. Of course. Did enough pro bono today? How much it'll cost? How much will it cost to get you interested again? Oh, you can expletive right off. Ulyssa. What's up, Dave? Think this through. What would you even do? Where would you go? Don't patronize me for trying to save myself. Dave's right. There won't be anywhere to go soon. I don't want to hear it, Innkeeper. What do you even know? All you do is sit here and watch everything fall apart around you. Don't you dare lecture me on this. I don't think that's very fair of you to say. You really want to talk about fair? Must be easy, huh? Up on your high horse watching us struggle every day. And all you can spare some half-assed commentary and a few pleasantries? I'm sorry. I didn't realize you mercenaries cared so much. Well, I got there in the end, did you? Should have figured. Explains why that bird spying on us all this time was also just a footnote for you. Hey, you always go on and on about your responsibilities as an innkeeper. How it's your duty to serve anyone that walks through those doors. If that necromancer expletive walked in here, would you offer him an ear and listen to his story? Would you serve Ilithia's murderer a drink with the same smile like you do for us? Hey, maybe he'd bring her corpse along. Good thing you'd already know what drink to serve her. That's cruel. Why are you defending her? She should be just as pissed as me. That elf is gone because she couldn't get over her own ego, right? For all we know, Fable could be dead in a ditch somewhere. We wouldn't know. My drinks aren't miracle tinctures. They can't move mountains. But they could provide the edge between life and death, couldn't they? And you decided to refuse them that help because you were petty. Not like it matters now. Don't talk like Fable's already dead. Maybe you should have thought it harder before letting Fable walk away like that. I didn't let her walk away nothing. What happened to believing in them? If there's even a chance they might come back, I'll keep these tavern doors open. Good to know you seem to have somewhat of a heart. Whatever. I don't know what else you want me to say. Just try to say something that doesn't make it sound like you've already given up. Like you didn't give up the moment things turned rough in the chasm? That was different. People were dying. A lot of people will die soon because we ran. So, unless you have some big idea on how to fix this world... Oh, I know. You can just set up another hit, Dave. That way someone else could take care of your problems again. It just won't be me this time. Innkeeper, Caerlin, it's been real. Or not. But risking Clay's temper seems more meaningful than sitting here, so goodbye. She does have a point, doesn't she? I don't know what to do anymore. On our way back from the Highlands, I was thinking I could just go see my family, but would I even reach them before the sun sets for the last time? I could have tried. Instead, I'm here. I'm not sure why. There must be something left to do. Maybe if we have the element of surprise, with your sword, we might... No, this sword can't save the world, and neither can I. Fable's back. She looks a little scarred. Am I seeing things? Fable? Hello, everyone. Greetings, adventurer. Welcome back. I'm back. Somebody pinch me. Ow. I said pinch, not punch, Caerlin. That wasn't a punch. I'll show you. Wait. It's really me. Even though I do look a little different. Is it weird? No, it suits you. Looking badass, Elfie. Thanks. I like it too. I like the horns. They look very, horny? Nope, that sounds wrong. Let me try again. Take your time. They are very pretty. Beautiful. Evanescent. Do you need one of your own drinks, Innkeeper? Well, what I really want to say is... I'm so glad you're okay, Fable. And I'm happy you're back. I'm really happy to see you as well, Innkeeper. And there's so much for us to all talk about. Wait, before that, first and foremost, I want to say that I'm truly sorry. I should never have refused to make you a drink. No matter what insecurities I was dealing with, I should never have let them get in the way of keeping you safe. I made it back, didn't I? And I thank the dragons for that. But I still ended up acting like a giant hypocrite. None of my encouragement was ever given in falsehood, yet learning to trust in the abilities I knew you had. It was hard to trust in you while the worry for your well-being was eating me whole. The worry of losing a friend. Don't you mean regular? No, you're my friend. If you'll still have me. You know, I thought a lot about our last conversation. I was upset at first, but most of all, I was afraid that we'd never talk again. I didn't even know if I ever wanted to come back to this tavern. Maybe the me from a few weeks ago would have just stayed away, but you're important to me too, Innkeep, and I wanted to be brave for the both of us. So I came back to hear you out. And I'm happy I did. Glad you're both finally able to resolve this. The conversation must have really eaten into your word count for the day, Innkeeper. Worth it. But yes, you'll have to carry me from here on out, Dave. I'll try my best. Oh, right. Guys, we don't have time to chat. There's this necromancer that stole Ur's axe. I don't know who he is or what he wants to do with it, but we have to stop him. Yeah, I think we kind of figured that out, Fable. Why are you guys looking at me like that? It might be good to get everyone up to speed. You go first, Fable. You got us on the edge of our seats. Well, as you know, I was searching for Melly around the portal of the Twilight Chasm. I couldn't find any clues, not with the devastation left behind after the flood. And then a thought struck me. What if Melly was pulled into the portal by the waves? That would have been a nightmare, literally. And even if I could swear I saw the shadows around the portal moving, or the fact that it's the entrance to the plane called the Nightmare Realm, I couldn't just abandon my friend, so I went through the portal. How did that go for you? To be honest, I barely remember what happened when I first went through. The distorted landscape, the giant gangly creatures roaming around, my heart was beating out of my chest. All of my blood was in my ears again. Eventually, I found an alcove that gave me some shelter, but I couldn't stop freaking out. In my blind panic, I had run so far away from where I had entered that the chance of finding any traces of Melly was almost zero. So what did you do next? I must have fallen asleep. What? Excuse me? Well, all that running and worrying got me so exhausted, I must have just passed out. It was weird falling asleep in such a strange place. I couldn't remember any dreams afterwards, just this sense of disquiet and unease. But when I woke up, the Twilight Chasm looked different to me. It didn't scare me so much anymore. Moreover, I felt almost melancholic as I regarded its deep purple horizons. And suddenly, close to my alcove, where spiky mountains split the sky, I saw entrances to tunnels that hadn't been there before. My curiosity got the better of me and I ventured inside. The deeper I went in, the more I started seeing veins of precious stones lining the walls. And soon the tunnel widened into a huge cave. And I mean, it was huge, gigantic. I wasn't even able to see the ceiling anymore. Turns out somewhere I had stumbled from the Twilight Chasm into the center of the plain, not the dragon. But in front of me was the sleeping form of the elder dragon themselves, looking more awake than they should have been. I can only guess that the water covering the floor must have roused them. The flood had even managed to reach cavern. You mean the dragon that, if woken too early, will bring about the end of everything, was awake? Yes. Great. Another apocalypse. Do we get double points for a combo? Wait. I haven't finished my tale yet. But you're right, it didn't look good, especially when the necromancer appeared. I hid behind a formation of stalagmites as soon as I noticed him. Something about his presence and armor seemed off. He was followed by a couple of undead creatures dressed in farmer's clothing. I was still debating whether to reveal myself or not when he began to cast a strange spell. A green mist started to coalesce around head. Then his eyes flew fully open. I was stunned when I saw their gaze. Their presence had suddenly become stifling. Whatever strange visions the mist revealed seemed to enrage them. Their roar must have shaken the whole plain. But while was distracted, the necromancer tried to retrieve their fabled axe wrapped in their tail. It was a gut feeling, but I just couldn't let him take that axe. I had to stop him. But as he took hold of the large weapon, he turned to look at me. My leg felt like goo. I was shaking so bad. It was hard to draw breath. I knew at that moment, should I try to fight him, I would die. It was by pure luck then at that moment, shook off the mist and lunged for the intruder. The undead creatures used their bodies to shield him, shattering upon impact with claws. While the necromancer cast the same mist spell again, the spell connected with ease, giving him the precious seconds he needed to escape. For a while nothing happened, there was just silence. I think desperation made me brave or blind to consequences, but I could hesitate no longer. If that necromancer was to use that axe for evil, while I had the chance to stop him, and I didn't. So I abandoned my hiding spot and ran toward begging them for help. You just asked the Elder Dragon for help? Yes, it seemed like my only option at the time. How did they answer? With a riddle. It was something like this. Gems and jewels I create, yet my most precious treasure I still await. Sought by many, found by the lucky. It blessed the oldest and youngest before it struck me. No mortal stands against it, its immortal's delight. So close to death, unseen you find. What little mortal do I seek? Okay, let me see if I can go back to... Okay, gems and jewels I create, yet my most precious treasures I still await. Sought by many, found by lucky. It's blessed the oldest and youngest before it struck me. No mortal stands against it, in mortal's delight. So close to death, unseen you find. What little mortal do I seek? I honestly don't know. I was never good at riddles. I prefer a more hands-on approach. I probably could figure it out. Just admit you don't have the patience. That too. We have that in common. To be honest, I could barely think past all the emotions warring within me. And so I just said the first thing in my mind. I told them how much I didn't want to answer a riddle just then. Saving people shouldn't depend on getting a riddle right. And if wanted something in the first place, maybe they shouldn't speak in riddles. And communicate clearly instead. Wow. You said that to their face? I got caught up in the moment. It seemed to surprise them, judging by the rumbling chuckle they let out. Eventually, told me all they wanted to do was fall back asleep. So I pulled out my lute and played the elder dragon, a lullaby. Just as I could see their eyes starting to droop, they lifted a gigantic talon to my forehead. A strange heat ran through my body, and a floating orb of binding blue fire appeared in front of me. It was so warm and kind. It tickled my nose, and when I couldn't hold in my laughter any longer, I accidentally ate it. Before I could panic about wasting Earth's gift, their gaze let me know that everything was fine. That their flame would stay with me from then on, and that their strength was their boon to me, to this world. The makeover was included, I guess. And that's all there is to it, really. I think that was plenty. That's astonishing. It's not like I did anything special. Anyone in my position would have done the same. No, I think this was Fable. This is Fable written all over it. I did forget to bring a cool trinket back for you. I think you brought back something a lot more important. Hope. Oh. Elfie, are you saying you actually produce dragonfire now? I think so. I practiced recreating the orb on the way here, but I still have a long way to go. Ha. I feel like I'm missing some context here. Later. I need to get Rhea right now. That was fast. Can't blame her. I heard you might have some dragonfire for my sword. Good to see you back in one piece, Fable. Good to be back in one piece. So what's the situation? Is there a new plan? Yes. Maybe. We'll need to figure out the details. But it's fair to say we've been given another shot. Right. If there's any smithing to be done, you know, I'm with you. How long do you think you'll need to reforge the sword? With that blueprint from the Highlands, it'll go a lot quicker. I'm confident I'll be able to make a darn fine sword. It'll be ready before sunrise. Got no time to waste. Right. I'd still really like to know what we can't waste time on. Let's discuss it with the others. Melly is a lot better on explaining this kind of stuff. She's safe? Yes, she's safe. Innkeep, I trust you have some quests locked and loaded for us top of the morning? Of course. I guess we'll see you tomorrow, Innkeeper. Rest well, everyone. New quest. Okay, so we have just 3 left. Fable has returned with her encounter from with a mysterious ability, the power to create dragonfire. Hope is rekindled at last. One has to go through a number of overly complicated rituals. Good that no cleric would ever aid in something like that. I mean, we just put these 3 there. I mean, that's all I've got. fight of hopes and dreams. All might seem lost, but the fight is not over yet. Quasar can still be stopped at the aperture. He is in possession of a draconic weapon, but so are we. Thanks to Fable and their newly obtained dragon fire, we were able to forge a weapon to withstand this evil power.